Ethology is actually animal psychology. So psychology, you have some idea what is a psychology. Psychology is mainly dealing with the behavior, especially behavior of human beings. But in the case of animal psychology or ethology, we don't use the term animal psychology much, but it is actually a behavioral study of animals. So in the case of ethology, the main aim or main purpose of ethology is studying the animal behavior, particularly under its natural condition. Because if you are studying animal behavior in a zoo or in an enclosure, there will be a lot of difference from the way it is behaving in a forest or in a natural situation. So scientists are now emphasizing studying the animal in its original natural habitat. Then only we can understand the original characteristics or original behavior of the animal. So it focuses on observable action and reactions of animal to various stimuli in environment. Observable means what we can observe with our eyes. Certain behavior we can understand or we can observe. Not every behavior of the animal we cannot understand or judge, because we cannot see how this animal may be feeling it. So only observable characteristics are studied here, with an emphasis on evolutionary significance and adaptive behavior. For example, when a particular behavior is exhibited by an animal, there should be some reason why the animal is behaving in such a way. If you observe a cat or dog, if you have a dog, every time the dog is behaving in a particular way, there should be a reason for that. That reason may have some evolutionary connection. There should be an evolutionary reason for that. Or some adaptation will be there, or adaptive behavior will be there. So that aspect is also being studied by evolutionary ethologists. And ethology often seeks to understand how behavior have developed and evolved to ensure survival as well as reproductive success. So why a particular behavior is exhibited by animals and how this behavior is valuable for the survival of the species. Now here there are a lot of people who have laid the foundation of this ethology. The ethology has its roots in both ancient philosophy and early biology. A lot of people have worked on ethology, like Aristotle observed and described animal behavior in a very basic form. Aristotle was one of the earliest zoologists. He also studied animal behavior in a primitive form. However, the formal study of ethology didn't begin until later in the 19th century. So during the 19th century, Charles Darwin worked in the 19th century, especially in his theory of natural selection, has laid the groundwork for ethological studies, and Darwin's observation on animal instinct and evolutionary basis were fundamental for future. So because while Darwin was going through different countries and different continents during his voyage in HMS Beagle, he has been observing a lot of animals. That is why he was able to judge the minute difference in the case of finches in Galapagos Island. If you go to the Galapagos Island, we are seeing these finches. Most of us won't be even recognizing these minor difficulties, the minor differences, because it was the close observation of the Charles Darwin on these animals that made him recognize that such minor differences exist between different species of finches, and that may be an evolutionary reason for that. Now, in the coming to 20th century, the discipline truly emerged in the 20th century with the pioneering work of different scientists like Konrad Lorenz, Nicholas Timbergen, then Carl Bornfrisch. So these are the three important people who have actually laid the foundation for the ethology, and for their work on physiology and medicine in 1973 they were awarded Nobel Prize. So you can imagine the importance of their work and how much they have contributed for the development of this branch of science called ethology. Now, Konrad Lorenz, here you can see this is the person known as the Konrad Lorenz. Then he is known for his pioneering studies on imprinting in birds. Imprinting means when a bird is emerging from its egg. The first time the bird may be most usually seeing its mother. Now, and the bird has a tendency to follow the first moving object. So if the first moving object is a human being like this, the bird will be following him throughout his life. So what this person has done is that when the eggs are these are called geese. When the eggs of the geese are being going to hatch, he stand before these eggs. So the first moving person, and these birds were seeing has seen is this person, Conrad Loren. So he there, and this animal has a tendency to follow him wherever he is going. So that kind of study was made him very famous. And another person is Nicholas Tinbergen. I will show you the picture of this. This is the Nicholas Tinbergen. He has made a lot of pioneering studies on birds. He is an ornithologist. And he also studied mechanism, development, function, and evolutionary behavior, because most of his studies were concentrated on birds. Then another person is known as Carl von Frisch, and he is renowned for his communication and dance language of honeybee. Here you can see that this is the person. He has actually this when honeybees are making a wangle type of dance, and by this dance mechanism, a honeybee can communicate the source of the food, distance from the source of the food, in which direction the food source will be available. Such minor things, the honeybees are able to communicate through their dance behavior. So that thing was discovered by this person known by the name Carl von Frisch. These are the three important people who had actually made the ethology an interesting or an emerging field in the beginning of the 20th century. Now, this ethology is connected with a lot of other science like neurobiology, then sociobiology, cognitive technology, so different, and behavioral ecology. So different areas are there, but the origin of this behavior, of this science, was actually due to the contribution of these three scientists. And before that also some other scientists were studying. We only know the name of Charles Darwin and Aristotle. Then similarly Wallace was also contributing lot of information studies on this ethology. So this is an idea regarding the origin of ethology. Now coming to the scope of ethology. Ethology has different areas are there, and one such area will be dealing with innate and learned behavior. What is the difference between behavior we have right from the time of birth and certain behavior we will be learning during our lifetime, and that is known as the innate and learned behavior. Then another aspect is the animal communication. The ways in which animals communicate, such as through sound, gesture, chemical. For example, when if you in the evening, if you move out of come out of your house and observe certain coconut trees or tall trees, you can see certain birds sitting there and making a singing sound. There is a purpose for that. And what is the objective? What is the purpose of such singing by birds? So every animal will be making some kind of sound, gestures, and some animals are using chemical signal. For example, if you attack a honeybee colony, we can see that one or two bees will come and put a spray on it, and the spray indicates that this is an enemy, please attack him. Then all the other honeybees will come and attack you. So such kind of chemical signals are also produced by animal. Then mating and reproductive behavior. Animals biologists or ethologists are studying about the complex mating behavior, complex rituals during the mating reproductive time, and the different types of mating strategies, and what kind of approach each animal is exhibiting with regard to care of their babies. So the purpose of all this reproductive behavior is to ensure that the babies of these animals are having maximum chance for survival. So that is the objectives of this complex mating and reproductive strategy. Then another scope of ethology is ethology will be studying about social structure and behavior. Many animals exhibit complex behavior, including cooperation, competition. For example, if you take a chimpanzee, if you take a gorilla, or if you take a monkey, in most of these primate, there is a hierarchical organization. Hierarchical organization, for example, in the use of a college, right at the top there is manager, below him there is a principal, and below him vice principal, below him is of HODs, and below him the teachers, different levels of teachers, then below him are the students. This is known as a ladder of organization, and this is known as a hierarchy. Just like that, in the use of animal, there will be some animal who may be called as a leader, and all the other animals, subordinate animals, will be following the actions or following the guidelines or orders given by this leader, the male. So usually, and that is known as a social structure or hierarchy. And animal scientists are also studying about such behavior, and we will be learning about that later. Then another thing is territoriality. For example, in the use of many animals, if for example the bird is singing, a bird which is singing in a coconut tree or in a very tall tree, is actually marking its territory. So if some other bird is entering into that territory, you can see that that bird going and attacking that other bird. So purpose of most of the time this singing behavior is to show that mark its territory. This is my area, this is my boundary, better move out of this area. So that is known as that behavior is known as the territoriality, and territoriality is always exhibited by several groups of animals, including mammals, primates, etc. Then another is foraging and food acquisition. Behavioral strategies related to food gathering include decision making and energy optimization. For example, you might have seen that certain animals, like very small animals, like a fox, wolves, etc., or dogs, etc., they always hunt in a group. And because of that the group hunting, these wild dogs are highly dangerous for predators, higher for most of the animals, because they always hunt. They hunt as a pack. Maybe 10 or 15 dogs will be there, and they will be surrounding a prey and will be attacking from several directions. So cooperative behavior is there. So such kind of food foraging or food acquisition, food collection is there in certain types of animal. Then evolutionary behavior. Ethology are interested in how behavior evolved over time in response to ecological, how a particular behavior has actually started. That is the aim of this evolutionary behavior. In most of the time, for every particular behavior, there should be an evolutionary reason. And that evolutionary reason animal biologists or ethologists are trying to find out. Then applied ethology. Applied ethology is actually dealing with the conservation, like animal welfare. And for example, nowadays you can see the elephant is coming out of the forest many times. If we can find out what are the reasons for the elephants coming out, why elephants are attacking certain. For if you talk with the forest people, they will say that this type of elephant will be more aggressive. They have a higher chance of attacking you. So be careful of dealing when such animals are there. So because they know from their experience of observing this elephant that this type, a particular type of elephant with a particular instinct or particular behavior has a higher aggressive nature, and so better move out of that, from that area. So this is known as applied ethology. We are utilizing our knowledge on behavior of animals on certain valuable aspects, especially for human welfare. And you can see that by studying about this behavior of animals, especially larger animals like elephant, leopard, etc., tiger, etc., we will be able to minimize the man-animal conflict. Nowadays, human-animal conflict is a big issue, especially in a state like Kerala, because 1/3 of Kerala is actually forested. And so there are a lot of animals in our state, and that is the beauty of our state. But at the same time, this type of interaction, human-animal conflicts are increasing, and there are a lot of reasons are there because of the high temperature or the climate change. Many of them especially during summer season, many of the water bodies inside the forest may be drying up. That also prompts the wild animals to come out of the forest and search for water. So, and usually, and during such behavior, they will come in conflict with the human beings. So, by examining the behavior in the context of survival, reproduction, and environmental adaptation, They will be giving a lot of insights into the evolutionary process as well as ecological process shaping the animal life. So this is the importance of or scope. So if you have a question, what to comment on the scope of ethology, or it simply means the importance of ethology. Why you have to study this branch? So there are different areas are the, I just listed some of the important uses or applications of ethology. Then we have to see about the history. There are three important scientists are there, and also regarding the definition of ethology. So these are the three areas which are coming in this area.